Dear brothers and sisters, let us continue the book reading VoiceReal, written by Babuji Maharaj, chapter Path of Love. In the spiritual phase, faith in the Guru or the Master starts when the sadhak begins to feel that whatever the teacher gives out is correct and to his advantage. When it is so, he accepts it with submission. By and by, when he begins to feel more and more convinced and satisfied by experience and association, his reliance on the Master grows stronger and his submission increases. Faith thus begins to develop in a way, and he begins to assume an unquestioning attitude. This usual routine is applicable to those who aspire for the realization of God and proceed on the path with their eyes wide open. But for one like myself, I may assure you that I did not step into this field with an object of realizing God. I had no such intention or purpose or aim. I was blind to everything except the one I sought for. I sought for Him and Him alone, my Master. He was to me all in all. Nothing else was in my view. His image alone was implanted deep within my heart. I never looked to anything but to His form. I never craved for the joy and comfort of the world nor even of heaven. I felt perfectly unconcerned with God. All that I craved for was the attainment of an end like that of His, nothing short of it and nothing beyond. I had absolutely no desire for the realization of God, even if it be on my part an act of blasphemy in the popular sense. I was so mad with love for Him that I had lost my power of vision for all things. People may condemn it as blind faith, but my love madness pulled me up to it, and I liked to linger within the dark, gloomy atmosphere of love rather than enjoy the blissful state of Anandam. But I liked to keep it reserved exclusively for myself, and I do not induce any other to follow this mad course. His every gesture was to me the revelation of the divine mystery, his every word a volume of spirituality, and his every action the exposition of the unknown. I had no choice or liking, nor even a sense of discrimination between the right and the wrong. To me, everything of his was what it ought to be. I was in complete submission to His will and could never think otherwise even for a moment. I literally followed the following concept. If your spiritual guide asks you to dye your prayer carpet with wine, do it. For he, having travelled himself the entire distance, is well aware of all ups and downs of the path. Dear brethren, see how beautifully our Master Babuji Maharaj has explained us about the path of love. In the spiritual phase, faith in the Guru or the Master starts when the sadhak, that is, we abhyasis, begin to feel that whatever the teacher gives out is correct and to our advantage. That is, whatever Master bestows is for our good only. When it is so, then we accept it with submission, isn't it? Otherwise, we will not accept it. If and only if that state of condition is there within us, then we accept everything with submission. By and by, when we begin to feel more and more convinced and satisfied by experience and association with our Master, then our reliance on the Master grows stronger and our submission increases. So, whatever the experience we gain in association with our Master, that strengthen our dependency and our faith towards Him. Thus, the faith begins to develop in such a way that we begin to assume an unquestioning attitude. Earlier, we were having so many doubts in our mind. When once that faith develops in us, all the questions will stop. It will bid farewell. And then the unquestioning attitude begins. This usual routine is applicable to those people who aspire for the realization of God and proceed on the path with their eyes wide open. So the people who want to realize God, for them, this is applicable. But let us see what happened in the case of our beloved Master Babuji Maharaj. But for one like him, Babuji is saying that I may assure you that I did not step into this field with an object of realizing God. He has not stepped into this field to realize God. But then what? I had no such intention or purpose or aim. I was blind to everything except the one I sought for. What that one he sought for is his Master and Master alone. For him, that is for Babuji Maharaj, he was all in all. That is, his Master was all in all. Everything is his Master only. Nothing else was in his view. And his image alone was implanted deep in his heart. That is Babuji Maharaj's heart. So, Babuji Maharaj never looked to anything but to his form. And he never craved for the joy and comfort of the world nor even of heaven. So, he felt perfectly unconcerned with God. See, this is the true faith and true love towards his Master. All that what Babuji Maharaj craved for was the attainment of an end like that of his Master, and nothing short of it and nothing beyond that. Just he wanted to become like his Master perfectly. And Babuji Maharaj is saying that he had absolutely no desire for the realization of God, even if it be on his part an act of blasphemy, in the popular sense, one can say. And Babuji Maharaj was so mad with love for him that he had lost his power of vision for all things, because he was just completely blind about all other things. People may condemn it as blind faith, but Babuji Maharaj's love, madness pulled him up to it, and he liked to linger within the dark, gloomy atmosphere of love rather than enjoy the blissful state of Anandam. But Babuji Maharaj liked to keep it reserved exclusively for himself, and he never induced any other to follow this mad course. That is, the madness of love. His every gesture was the revelation of divine mystery to Babuji Maharaj. That is his master's every gesture. And his master's every word a volume of spirituality. And his master's every action the exposition of the unknown. So, Babuji Maharaj had no choice or liking nor even a sense of discrimination between the right and the wrong. For him, everything of his was what it ought to be. And he was in complete submission to his master's will and could never think otherwise even for a moment. For him, he is telling that the following concept was literally applicable to him. That means he used to follow it. What is that concept? If your spiritual guide asks you to dye your prayer carpet with wine, see, prayer carpet with wine, can anybody tell that or advise a spiritual aspirant? Nobody expects this, no? Yes, of course. If that same thing has been guided by your master, just follow it, do it. For he having travelled himself the entire distance, because master has travelled himself the entire distance. So have that unfailing faith. So, he is well aware of all ups and downs of the path. So, simply follow him, simply obey his orders. That's what the condition of Babuji Maharaj. So, dear brethren, see how we should develop the love towards Master. This is how we have to develop the love. This is the path of love, where everything turns blind and only the object of worship that remains in our view is our Master. That's it. Nothing other than that. So let us inculcate this state of love even in ourselves also. That's what the message Babuji Maharaj is spreading to all of us. So let us imbibe this state of condition and attain that highest level of spiritual elevation. With this, I conclude today's satsang, and let us know more aspects in the forthcoming satsang. Till then, I take leave. Pranams. Namaste.